So thank you so much. This is Harmony Spiritual Center. And who we've come here to be and who we are is love. And so I thank you all so much for being here, for sharing your love without question, without fear, without doubt. We know who we are. And we are here for everyone who walks through that door. For those who listen to us on our social medias, we are love for everyone. Thank you so much. So last week we talked about being all in. Just meaning, just be all in your life, in where you are. And, sometimes we feel like, I'm not feeling 100% today. And so I'm just gonna halfway do it. I'm just gonna sit here and just be whatever it is that we say to ourselves. But it's our lives. Every moment that we have, and we don't know how many more moments there are. We know this is the moment right now. We don't know how many more moments there are going to be. And why do we want to give it short shrift? Our lives, the ability to love, to be something for someone in this life. One of the things he said in the song, this is who we've come here to be, to share light, love, wisdom, and only you can bring it the way that you bring it. So every one of us is important that we show up as who we are. And if we're not feeling fully ourselves today or any day, that's okay. This is why we surround ourselves with love. That's why we surround ourselves with a community of believers like we do. And there's a lot of believers, but partners in believing to help you believe when you sometimes forget who you are and what is possible for your lives. So that's what we do for each other. That's what we talked about last week. And one of the things that I want to do every time I come, because I don't know who's going to be here and I don't know what people need, but I listen to Spirit and talk about what Spirit asks me to say. I ask Spirit for that I'm not just standing here being PJ, that I'm standing here being the face of God as PJ in this room every time I'm here, and whoever I'm talking to. And so I always want to share with you some information that I know works for me. And I'm not just talking about reading, and that's okay, because we got to read. But once we read and know something, how do we actually experience it? So when I'm sharing with you, I'm sharing with you from my experience of something. And I don't leave anything on the table. People say I overshare, and that's, it is what it is. Okay. So we do that and just share our lives and who we are and how we have a great life, because I truly believe that we are here to have a great life. There is absolutely no reason to be here, why God would put you here, if there wasn't a purpose for your life. And sometimes we don't really necessarily know what that is at the beginning. We're just kind of stumbling through and trying to figure out, really, I have a purpose? I'm here for something? I trust you are. You absolutely are. There's I don't remember the verse of it, but there is a verse in the Bible that says, God knew you before you showed up, before you came here. God put his print on you, gave you your own individualized fingerprint. Of all the people on the planet, no one has what you have, which means we need what you have because no one else has it. So we show up as ourselves. And so I'm always wanting to talk about that, about how you can be, how you can expand. We're here to express God as us. We're here to see the love and the God in everyone. We're here for a particular purpose, to bring God, to show up as your own unique way of doing that, because someone will resonate with that and understand that and be changed by that. And so that's what we get to do. We are change makers. We are believers. We believe in everyone, and that's what we do. When we go out in the world, we arm ourselves with ways in which we can do that, knowledge and permission to be who we are fully. But today, because I'm always talking about that, I know that sometimes it might feel, and I don't know, to the audience that's listening later, or maybe to you in the room, that we always need to be working on something. That, she's always talking about, well, we need to work on this, you need to work on that. This, and there's always that. As human beings, we're always learning from our experiences. There's I don't know where this came from. It's true, but I can't tell you where I read it, but it makes sense when you hear what I'm going to say. That when you look at animals who break out of their shell, the egg, and they're breaking out, they have to do that because it's what makes them strong. Breaking against that which is keeping them within that shell, they have to break out. If they don't break out of it, they don't have the strength to live, to form who they're supposed to be. And this is what our experiences do for us. Our experiences are like our eggshells. We are breaking out, understanding, coming to who we're supposed to be because of the experiences. So we don't need to concern ourselves, feel bad about the experiences that we have. We have the experiences to make ourselves stronger, to make ourselves understand, to become fully who we're here to be. That's what those experiences are for, so we don't need to feel bad about that. But I do want to share with you that within all of that, with all of that learning and knowing and breaking the eggshells and the experiences that are refining who we are and who we know to be and who we give ourselves permission to be, life is already beautiful. Life is already beautiful. So I wanted to remind you today that we are living a beautiful life. You are the beautiful life. You are beautiful. And I am so happy to know you, to be around you, to be supported by such beautiful spiritual souls who acknowledge their beauty, who acknowledge their God self, and who show up in my life and in the lives of everyone else that you are around, who you are, just by showing up as you. The caring that you do, the giving that you do, the ability to receive as we do, the life is already beautiful. And so many things have reminded me, so I just want you to think about, just reflect on your life about how beautiful it already is. So I was in my home the other day, and just looking around, just walking through the house. And this is the first time, no, it's not the first time, but it's the first time that I've ever been in a home where I feel like it's my home. It's my community. And I got an opportunity to design it, to say what I wanted it to look like, what I wanted the floors to look like, what I wanted there. It actually was a chimney in there, and I said, no, I don't really want this chimney in here. I want more light, and so was able to get the chimney taken out, put big windows in there, say how I wanted it to be arranged. It's like, I think there's 3 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms in the place, and I only use one as a bedroom, one is my office, and one is a television room, because I love watching movies, and so I have a big TV in there, and I just sit, and that's my television room. That's mine, right? And there's a couple of bathrooms. There's a guest bathroom. There's the house bathroom that I use. Walk into that big, beautiful kitchen that I had all the cabinets painted blue, because it's a duplex, and so the wall, so there's no window in the wall in the kitchen, because it's connected to the next place. And so I made it really blue, and I've got, what are those big yellow flowers? Sunflowers. Pictures of sunflowers. It's so beautiful and bright. And some people walk in, people, strangers, people who have delivered things to my house, and they walk in and go, wow, that's blue. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it is mine. And then I was walking in. So I have the living room, the little dining area, and then there's another area that's just, I don't even know what we call it. It's just like what is that area? Like a relaxing area? I don't know. It's just and I was given some beautiful furniture to put in there, and so I was just going around my house, just being there and thinking how blessed I am to have this place of peace. It is so quiet. It was raining and thundering, and the wind was blowing, and I thought, is there something going on? So I looked at my phone, and it said, tornado watch. I'm like, oh, okay. Because it's so quiet and peaceful. I don't hear, the only time, and this is a little too much personal information, but I'm going to share it with you anyway, because that's who I am. The only way that I know that something's going on outside is when I'm sitting on the toilet. Because there's a vent right there, and that's how I hear what's going on. I hear the rain or the wind. No, that's TMI. Too much information, but what am I going to do? It's true. It's true. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm a true speaker. And so it's nice and quiet, and it's just a beautiful place. And I love it, and I love the patio area. It's got a beautiful patio area. I've got some great furniture on it. I never use it, but I love just seeing it, just seeing that it's there. It's just a beautiful place. And so I just want us to take a look. And so that was just my opportunity to think, stop for a second and look where you are. And look how much love is in this place. And look how much love it took to be in this place. I was invited to be there. It is a community that another one of our members thought about and invited me to be a part of. It's just amazing to me how beautiful that is. And then I'm in my office area and just working. I think I was in a meeting or something. I'm not really sure. And I got a text from my neighbor. He said, "Hey, can you open up your gate, your back gate? It's what'd you say? It was less windy or something. I'm gonna come over and cut the grass." Yeah, I can open that up. Sure can. So I'm just thinking he's gonna just come and mow the grass and all that. And I didn't hear it because again I'm inside. I'm working. It's just really quiet. I didn't hear him at all. But when I finished doing what I was doing, I went outside and I looked. Not only did he cut the grass or whatever was out there. I think really it was more leaves than grass, but yeah. So cut the grass, blew all the leaves off the porch so I could actually see my patio. It was so beautiful. But my neighbor and friend and loved one just called me up and said, "Hey, I think it's the weather's fine and I'm going to." He didn't ask me if he could. Just said, "Unlock the door. I'm coming over." Great. Life is so beautiful, and we are surrounded by love. And one of the things that someone told me a long time ago, I think they meant it as it's like something negative, but I took it as something positive because it is to me. They said, "You're really good at receiving." Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And here's what. And here, I don't turn people down. I say, "Hey, I'd like to give you something." Great. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. You know why? Because number one, I want to get it. And number two is because why would I deny somebody the joy of giving something to someone? Do you know how joyful it is to you to give something to someone and then they take it? Now, what if you want to give something to someone and say, "Oh no, I couldn't"? How does that make you feel? Like what? Exactly. It makes you feel like less. What do they think? I don't have enough money to give it to them? Do they not want it? Do they don't think? You understand? All the things that go through their head. To me, it's love. It's love. It's another beautiful thing in our lives that we get to give and receive to one another. And so I'm a giver. I'm a free giver, and I'm also a receiver. Yes, I'll receive everything. And even if I can't use whatever it is they've given me, someone can. And so I keep it until it's revealed to me whose that really is, whose it is. And then I'll pass it on. But I'll always receive because that's what we get to do. And we were in the class this morning, and Bill and Barb's son sent them, what's it, a story? What's the thing they call storybook or story growth that you? Storyworth. And it's just a beautiful idea, and I think you get it online. But anyway, he gave it, I just love this because. And the reason why, and I'll tell you what this is, but the reason why I love it so much is because my mom and my dad and lots of the elders, I think thank God, my sister's the eldest. But anyway, yeah, she knows. I say it every time she comes around. You're such an old lady. Anyway, so I don't have any information about my family, my father's grandparents. I don't know who they are. I don't know how my grandfather and my grandmother met. I don't even know where my grandfather came from. Like, he wasn't an original Texan. I don't know where he came from. I don't know any of that. So their son sent them a thing and said, and it's just asking you all kinds of information about them. Like, what was your best memory, your first memory, what was, all kinds of wonderful questions. So that he'll have that, and his kids will have that, and know who their grandparents are, and know who their parents are. It's just a beautiful thing. And so one of the questions they asked was, what is your earliest memory? I'm like, I don't know that I have an early memory. What? But I did. And I was sitting with that, and I thought my earliest memory was knowing God. As a kid, I never worried about anything. I really didn't. And it was because I always heard this voice. I didn't know at the time I was a kid it was the voice of God. I didn't know until later. But when I heard the voice, whatever was bothering me, I was calm about it. I knew that the answer was true. It was a true answer that the voice was telling me, and then I was always calm. And we traveled a lot because my father was in the military, and I've shared this with you before, and I'll share it again because it's just it's funny to me. I loved traveling. I loved going to see new places. I loved meeting new people. I just loved it. And so I just had this story, we all have stories, right? About how, me and my siblings all loved traveling. And I tell that story everywhere I went. We'd have parties and gatherings. I'm telling this story. Oh, we love traveling. We love traveling. And finally, my babysitter said, I am so sick of that story. That is your story. The rest of us hated traveling. I'm sorry, what? What? Really? Yes, nobody liked moving. You're the only one that did. Like, oh, okay. Excuse me. So looking back on my life, and what's one of my earliest memories, is always, and probably why I like traveling so much, was that I always felt like I was a part of whatever was going on. Like I had no problem with just walking up and say, hey, so, I love this, what you got on? What's your name? And I'm just all in the conversation. And I remember sitting around talking to somebody one time, and somebody at the back going, who's this kid? Who is this? That was going on, because I just felt like I belonged wherever I was. And so I would just talk to people like I'd known them. Or if I didn't know them, I would say stuff like, oh, so what's your name? Oh, I love what you got, blah, 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 blah. Just all the time. So I think that knowing God, this is where that story is going. Life is beautiful. It already is. We are well taken care of. If you reflect back on your life and think about times that you thought were rough or difficult or whatever, and you can reflect and think, you came through that. There is nothing that you didn't come through. You came through it. You learned something. You realized what was possible for you, what you could get through. Jim told us some stories I didn't know anything about that were difficult times in his early marriage. And he hung in there. Now looking back and reflecting on that, I'm sure that you loved your wife and loved yourself for having done all of those things. You didn't know how you were going to do it when it first happened. But looking back over our lives, we can look and know that it has been beautiful. Even the things that were difficult for us to go through, it was fire that shared with us and shaped us and said, this is acceptable and this is not. And I will not bring this into my life anymore. This is what these are all about. This is what makes life beautiful. And we can look back and know that everything is all right. We are individualized expressions of God. And when we get together in community, or even with people who we don't even necessarily know, I have never, ever met a stranger. I can't remember where I was yesterday. Oh, yesterday I went to, So, so I was sharing with you that there was a rocky beginning with my second daughter-in-law. Just a rocky beginning because just a number of reasons I'm not going to go into. Those of you who know me know what the problem was. And so we're trying to forge a better relationship. And so she called me up about a month ago and said that they were going to an event here in Fort Worth yesterday. It was yesterday. And did I want to go? And I was absolutely. I absolutely did not want to go. But I wanted to do something, that she was reaching out. And so I wanted to honor that and spend it, and it was all day. It was like from 9 to 6. And it was something called Life Surge, which is, exactly, just even hearing the name. Somebody rolling their eyes back there. It was a big Christian event. And yeah. But I tell you something, I had a fabulous time. It was like no other event that I'd ever been to, in that they were, it wasn't the way that I was raised in this fundamental place. Everybody was so loving. Everyone on stage had their great stories to tell about their overcoming, and it wasn't easy. All of them were writers, speakers, great music. I recorded a lot of the music. Of course, we have to change the words, but they were great. but it was great music, and I had a wonderful time. Back to life being beautiful. I could have said no because it had this. I knew it was a Christian thing. We have stories that we tell that we've come through from that experience. But my overriding point was that I wanted to spend time with my daughter-in-law. She invited me to something, and I wanted to honor that and honor our relationship. And we had such a fabulous time together. And from that event, other classes came out of it, and we're going to take those classes together. She, me, and my son. Okay? So life is beautiful. It unfolds. We don't have to fight it. It is what it is. what I assume and what I'm asking you to assume is that life is beautiful, that we are individualized expressions of the one, meaning that whatever we need to know will come to us. We necessarily don't know the how. I didn't know exactly how that event was going to turn out. What I did know was love was present. That's what I knew. Okay? The details, that's going to unfold. But what you know, love is always present. And I'm looking for the love in whatever we do. So that's what makes life beautiful. Just look for the love, because you are love. And everywhere you go, just look for the love, because it's there. Be the love. If you can't see the love, be the love. And it will be there for you. And that's all I want to share with you today. Life is beautiful. You are beautiful. And we are all so blessed to be partners in believing with one another. Thank you so much for being here. So it is. Yeah.